Hi everyone, my name is JJ and I'm new to YouTube in the sense that this is my second video upload ever. The first one I uploaded yesterday and I basically decided to do a tarot reading for Aquarians, mostly because I am an Aquarius. I have an Aquarius sun. And to be honest, I came into this whole thing like without any expectation, thinking, well, why not? I've been encouraged recently to share tarot readings with more people, and I figured YouTube is the best platform to do this on. And I've also been extremely encouraged by this supermoon that we've been having in Taurus, which is an extremely practical energy, and I very much believe in the moon. I adore the moon. And seeing as it's the closest it's ever been to Earth, since 1948, I've had a lot of bursts of energy. And so today I figured I'm going to keep going with this, because yesterday I was like, yeah, I might just stop at the Aquarius video and see if I garner any interest or not. And if I feel good about it, then I'll keep going. If not, then... But, I'm back, so... Today I've decided to do a reading for Capricorns. And the reason for this is because I've been stuck on this idea of connection today. And when I think of connection, I think of Capricorn for some reason. I have a lot of planets in Capricorn in my chart as well. So although I am an Aquarius sun, many times I can also come off as very earthy. And if I'm gonna represent any earth sign, I suppose it would be Capricorn. I think I have around 5 planets in Capricorn. It's a lot. So I'm gonna get started. And I've already meditated on the cards, but I haven't shuffled them yet. And the reason for that is because I really like the cards to come out of the deck as opposed to taking a more structured approach, which I know a lot of tarot readers like to do. But I also know a lot of tarot readers like it when cards just pop out of the deck. And I figured that while I'm shuffling, I can say a bit more about what I think of Capricorns, to basically harness the energy more effectively. That's also how I like to do things with people. If I'm giving a one-on-one reading with someone, then I like them to tell me a bit more about themselves. But since I can't do that with you guys right now, I'm just going to say what it is that I know about Capricorns. So Capricorns, extremely disciplined people, very responsible, and they're workaholics. And in the sense that they like to take their work very seriously, I feel. Usually depending on how passionate they are about whatever job it is that they're doing. That's not to say that if you're not passionate that you're not a hard worker, but it tends to work more in your favor when you really enjoy what it is that you do. And I feel that Capricorns can also be a bit stubborn sometimes, which isn't a bad thing or anything like that. It has a lot to do with the fact that you're also extremely disciplined. So you can come off as stubborn, you can come off as like, knowing what you want and really going for it. So you value your own perspective. It's not to say that you don't listen to other people's perspective. You do. I think especially when it comes to like romantic things, you like to know what it is the other person is thinking, perhaps. Because you can be a little bit cautious when it comes to love. I don't blame you. Most people should be. But that's just my opinion. I met a Capricorn the other day. I was extremely drawn to this Capricorn. Like, didn't know who they were. We were sharing a ceremony, and it really caught my eye. I'm like, wow, that person looks very interesting, and I was just immensely drawn to them. So when I had the chance, you know, I got to have a small chit chat with her, and to say the least, extremely interesting and very driven. So yes, you are extremely driven, I feel, in life in general. Your first card has come out now, and it is the Nine of Swords. It's not a very nice way to start a reading, Capricorn. What's going on? But this is in the past position, so still a long way to go. I still haven't really figured out, by the way, the format of these, how these readings are gonna really look like. I'm just going with the flow. So some tarot readers like to solely focus on the cards and less on like a personal connection. Some will only show their faces and not the cards, and will just describe what the cards are. And I guess some will do a combination, and I'm gonna try and do a combination. I'm gonna try and work out the quirks as I go along. And I'd really appreciate any feedback and comments that you guys have for me, you know, whether that's negative or positive. It's fine, bring it on. It's no big deal, but please don't hate on me. There's really no need for that. I feel like if this doesn't feel right, if it doesn't resonate with you, you can move on. That's okay. Use this as entertainment purposes anyway. I always tell people, you know, take these things with a grain of salt, because at the end of the day, it's a matter of perspective. And everyone's got their own willpower, and everyone can change the outcome of anything. You set your mind to, you can do it, and you're an earth sign. That applies to you a lot. Another thing I'd like to add is that I have a journal. I like to keep it by my side when I'm conducting readings, and that's mainly because I'm human. I also said this in my Aquarius video. I'm human. We all make mistakes, and it's not to say that I'm not confident of the meanings of the cards. I am. But I like to document certain meanings that keep recurring, so to speak, because I also rely on my intuition a lot. I've been told that I'm an empath. I've always felt extremely in tune with the world around me. And I used to confuse this with introversion, feeling a little bit introverted, in the sense that like being around a lot of people would make me feel extremely nervous, and I'd have to get away after a while because it would get a bit too overwhelming, and I wasn't so sure what the hell was going on with me. And it wasn't until, you know, the last few years where I've been studying, I've studied psychology for a number of years. That's what I have my degrees in. And it became clearer to me that no, I'm a bit sensitive to the feelings of others around me. I tend to leech on people's emotions. I'm not an emotional vampire or anything like that, but it's more that if someone is bothered, I'll feel it. If someone's extremely happy, I'll feel it, and I'll feel happy too. And I will often take this emotion onto myself, basically. And it can get a little bit overwhelming. But I've learned to manage it. I use a lot of energy management tools as well. So essentially this is an energy reading as well. Of course, tarot is just another way of looking at energy. So, your second card is the Two of Wands. Now the first card, being the Nine of Swords, is a little bit worrying. Why? Because it suggests that you've been thinking a lot. You've been in your head a lot. You've been worrying about something, and it's obviously something that's disturbing you. And the Two of Wands, you know, is someone who is extremely successful and independent, but they might not necessarily be very happy. They have a lot going for them in terms of work, but on a more like personal front, there's something lacking there. I mean, the Two of Wands, can you see this? I don't know. Isn't usually someone in a relationship. And here he's holding the world in his hands, you know, so he's pondering what it is that can come next, let's say. He's standing on a ground where he's won a few battles, so to speak. And he feels like he can conquer the world. Like, what next? Like, I have all of this around me, and it's quite vast. It's grand. It's great. But I want more. The world is my oyster. And it might be here that you're thinking, have I achieved enough? You are overachievers. You're workaholics, like I said. Your third card is Major Arcana Temperance. And when this card comes up, there's a call for balance. It means that you've been doing a bit too much of something, not enough of other things. You haven't been integrating enough elements into your life. So it could be that you're focusing a bit too much on work, not having enough time for yourself and maybe the people that you love around you. And you need to establish some sort of balance in your life. Maybe you've lost a sense of balance. Maybe you've gone into too much of a work routine that's no longer serving you. This is what I'm feeling. You also have here the Eight of Pentacles. That also suggests, you know, is a very hard worker. This is someone who is really proud of the work that they produce. Proud enough to show their work to the world. The Eight of Pentacles isn't a master, so to speak, but he's getting there. But it can also suggest that you are really exerting yourself a bit too much, you know. Take a break, I feel. And the Temperance card also calls for taking a break. You need balance in your life. Life is not all about work, Capricorn. I really feel like this card wanted to come out, and it did, really. The Chariot. And the Chariot talks about movement, moving forward. Overcoming obstacles. It's a very positive card. You've been really strong, I feel. I mean, you may have started with the Nine of Swords, thinking a lot, worrying a lot. But in the past here, you've ended with the Chariot. So whatever obstacles it may have been that you were thinking about, you've been overcoming them successfully. It's still in the process. This is energy that's creeping into the present. It's not done yet. What's funny, though, is that the Two of Wands is very fiery energy. And the Nine of Swords is extremely airy element. Essentially, those two cards aren't meant to represent you. You do come off more as the Eight of Pentacles. This does make sense to me. And if this is not you, Capricorn, this is a Virgo or a Taurus, another earth element. But either way, if you're working now more than usual, too many cards came out. So I'm going to take that as a slip. I feel like if you've been exerting yourself a bit more than usual now, this full moon does have a lot to do with it. The energy is really intense, and it is really asking people to like move forward and push forward with whatever it is that they've been wanting to do, and that applies for all signs. But more so for you, more so for the earth elements, because Taurus is an earthy element, and Capricorns tend to get along very well with other earth signs. Whereas there are other signs in the zodiac that can also get along with, you know, their different counterparts. I'm not saying that you're an inflexible sign or anything like that, but generally speaking, you get along very well with the other two earth signs, Virgo and Taurus. So, and what do you have it? You have another Pentacles card here. You have the Seven of Pentacles. And this is someone who is evaluating what it is that they've achieved so far, thus far. It is their harvest. It's all the work that they've done so far, and what it's led up to is this Seven of Pentacles, basically. It can also sometimes suggest someone looking at their own heart. And because I know that, or again, it's a feeling that you guys really take your work very seriously. Your work can also become your girlfriend or your boyfriend, if that resonates with anyone. Let me know. But it came to me, hence I shall say it. And that's present energy. So you're looking at all of it now from a more practical stance, whereas in the past with the Nine of Swords, it was very much more mental energy. So you took your time thinking about it, and now you're physically actually looking at the situation. You're addressing it. You're using the Chariot's energy of moving forward to actually do something about it. But the Seven of Pentacles is not really a very active card, so you're still in the, it could be that you're still at the beginning stages of evaluating where this is going. Let's see. The King of Swords. This is someone in your life. I don't think this is you. This is not your energy. And even though this isn't you either, you know, the Two of Wands, when this came out, I still felt as though this was you reflecting on your own world. I didn't get that with this card though. So could this be someone in your life? Someone of influence? The King of Swords is not an emotional person. Not necessarily business-minded either, like the King of Pentacles, but the King of Swords is stern to me. I'm getting the impression that if you have been overloaded with work, it hasn't entirely been on you. This may be the influence of a boss. And I'm also getting that for some of you, you are your own boss. So you've intentionally been pushing yourself a little bit over the edge, taking on extra load, extra work. And if you're not your own boss and you're working for someone, well then they've just been giving you a bit too much. You have a lot on your plate. Yeah. And you're wondering whether or not this is good for you, and if you should keep at it, or if you should just bounce. Maybe you're not feeling very appreciated with the Five of Pentacles here, because fives for me are disappointment cards, lack. And if I go a bit silent, it's really just because I'm thinking. Do want to. Nope. This also came out for Aquarius yesterday, the Hermit. It's a Virgo card, so it's another earth energy. And it's a card of attainment, as well as thinking. Spending time on your own, reflecting on your resources, feeling a little bit drained, you know, and having to go within and having to really rely on yourself and what it is that you have and what it is that you can offer yourself. You want to, when the Hermit card comes out, there's a need to get to the truth of your own situation, not necessarily even the situation of others. The Hermit very much focuses on himself. And before the Hermit, you got the Nine of Wands, you know, which is someone who's really strong. This is also very fiery energy. Someone who's really strong. Someone who's been through quite a bit and knows how to protect themselves. but the fight they feel is not entirely over. So even though they built a pretty secure foundation for themselves, it feels like it's a bit under threat. So they have to stand there a little bit on guard, on the lookout. You could be expecting some sort of news right now in the present. Oh, Capricorn. Capricorn, Capricorn, Capricorn. I don't think you know when to stop. More work. Successful, but more work. And it comes with a hint of struggle here. Like, you're going to be successful if you just keep pushing on. Like, you're almost there. It's almost like you want to prove yourself. But who are you trying to prove yourself to? Is it this King of Swords? Could it be that you've had talks with someone, a partner, a boss, someone that has a say in something, and it's with regards to your future, in your business, in your work, whatever it is that you're doing. And you're expecting them to come back with some sort of news. You're a little bit worried that this news might not be in your favor. It could be. There's a lot of suspense. And I actually got that when I was meditating on your cards earlier, before I started shuffling. I got this very electric energy where the feeling was extremely electric and suspenseful. Nerves, a lot of nerves that came really clear through me. I felt them. And I wasn't very sure what to make of it. Nope. Well, something's coming full cycle. Oh, full circle. Sorry, I apologize. It is actually getting a little bit late where I am here. Almost 2 in the morning, but I simply couldn't sleep without doing this reading. I knew sleep was not coming to me until I got this out of the way. And a lot of it had to do with me meditating and the electric energy that was just whizzing through my body when I was thinking of you guys. You have 2 10s here. Both of them are in your future. Whatever it is that you're experiencing right now, the universe is going to take care of it. If something isn't tilting in your favor, that's going to end soon. Because this doesn't happen by accident. We go through phases of We can go through phases of stagnation, not having anything to do. And then we can go through phases where we feel like there is no end in sight. And this is the feeling that I'm truly getting for you guys, that for you now with this current present energy, you feel like, when is this going to stop? Like, I have worked so hard. When is this person going to see that? When can I drop my freaking wand? And relax for a little bit. You have 2 10s here. I mean, 10s are completion cards, like the end of a cycle. So whatever it is that is ending, you know, this hard work that is ending, it's ending soon for you. And boy, do you need a break, huh? It's been slow progress, even though you have the Chariot, where at some point you really wanted to speed things up, but then you figured, you know, you being Capricorn, having to really think things through, you're like, no, we're going to slow down here. We're going to evaluate what it is that we have, the fruits of our labor. One last stride, you know, that's what I'm getting now. It's like, just one more push. It's like you're giving birth to a child or something. What's up, man? What's up with that? More thinking. Less exaggerated form of the Hermit, for sure. This is the Hermit's repose, but more thinking. Except this is like meditating or praying on whatever it is that was keeping you up all night here. This is putting your sword down to rest. This is saying, I can't do this for much longer anymore. I can't. I need a break. I need to rest. But you are getting this rest in the immediate future. It's coming for you because the Wheel of Fortune is going to make sure of that. You're approaching the end of a cycle, and what comes after the cycle is rest. I don't see a lot of emotions here. None, actually. You're bothered, that's for sure. But that's the extent of it. You're thinking a lot. You're worrying a lot. But you have the Hanged Man. Things are coming to a pause for you soon. So if you've been working really hard, and you have, and you will continue to do so, it's like one final stretch, you know. All this work, looking at the fruits of your labor. Gonna slow down soon. Not in a bad way. Not in a bad way at all. It's more in the sense of you're gonna take a break. You need to take a break. You need to rest. Meditate. And then things are gonna pause briefly. This is like life in suspension for a while, where it could be you rethinking the course of where you stand right now, saying it could be that you decide you need to stop working for a while I don't know if this will resonate with you. If it does, then maybe that's what you need to do. You need to stop working for a while. Take a vacation. Take a weekend getaway. Something. Do something for yourself. Not for work. For yourself. You've been sacrificing a lot, you know, and like the hangman, when the hangman pops up, it's also a card of sacrifice. It talks about sacrifice. And this is in the future, so I want to say don't sacrifice anything that's not going to serve you in the long term. But I feel like you've already done a lot of thinking, so if you do sacrifice something, it could be that you're letting go of this job, whatever it is that's been keeping you extremely busy for a long time now, where you're wondering if this person appreciates you, because it seems like this person makes you feel like you're a bit left out in the cold here. But I do have to say that this card can also like represent, you know, having someone there through thick and thin. Having someone by your side. And so maybe you feel like you're lacking this support that you really want, that you really need in your life. Maybe it's time to take a break from this work situation. Pay attention to your relationships. Have you been doing that recently? Have you been paying attention to your relationships? And if you're single, maybe you feel a little bit lonely. You know, it's good to be independent. It's good to feel like you've got your life under control on your own. And you make for fantastic partners too, because you are hard workers, you know, you really care. So maybe it's time you think about that for a while. One last card for you. And then if there's anything that needs clarifying, we'll clarify it. We're already at 37 minutes long reading. I told myself, you know, yesterday I have to make, if I'm going to do these readings, I can't go overboard. It was more than 40 minutes yesterday with the Aquarius reading. And I said to myself, all right, yeah, it's because I'm talking about myself a bit, because I am an Aquarius. And I want to establish a rapport with you guys. But you guys have a bit of a heavy reading, I feel, and yeah. Okay. All right. You guys, seriously, I mean. Can you see these cards? I don't know if you can. You're gonna feel a little bit stuck. You're not really gonna know what the hell to do when this hangman comes up. You're like, I'm not used to this. I'm used to working. I'm used to having something to do all the time. I work. That's what I do. And now I feel stuck. Uh-oh, where am I going? But don't worry, because you have the Empress on your side. And the Empress is an extremely nurturing energy. This could be someone coming for you. Someone coming to save you from yourself a little bit. Maybe you need a little bit of saving. And you know what? It's totally fine to admit that. If that's how you're feeling. You need some support. You need some support. The Empress usually is someone, you know, that represents fertility and pregnancy. So if you are a female watching this video, could there be a pregnancy on the horizon? If you are a male watching this video, could it be that your wife is currently pregnant, and you don't know it, and you will find out about it soon? Or this is something that you've been trying to do, and you just simply have not had the time at all, at all, really. Work. Thinking about work, more work. Thinking about moving forward, extremely successfully, but, you know, moving forward. Thinking about all the work you've already done. Worrying, have I done enough? On the defensive. In suspense. Work, 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 work. I'm sorry. Nurture yourself. If the whole pregnancy thing doesn't resonate, and I mean, I don't like it when people rely too much on the whole, like, oh, Empress, she's pregnant all the time. Nurture yourself. This is nurturing energy, and it's coming for you, like, whether or not you like it. Whether or not you like it. There's, like, your last 4 cards. After the Wheel of Fortune, break, take a pause. Is very uncharacteristic of you. You're not really exactly going to know what the hell you're doing, but you can walk away from this situation. You don't have to feel like this. You're doing this to yourself if you feel like this. Snap out of it, please. And nurture yourself. Okay. That's all I have for you, Cap. That's all I have for you. I'm going to wish you a wonderful rest of the month. Let's say that this reading the energies will go from mid-November all the way till the end of the month until the beginning of December. Bottom of the deck, beautiful card. Hope, life, wish card. So if you've been wanting something to happen for a long time, you can get it with this. This is good energy. Take care, Capricorn. And if you like this reading, let me know. Give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, thumbs me down. If you have something to say, by all means, say it. I'm delighted to be doing these readings. I hope to continue doing these readings. Your encouragement would mean a lot to me. So, yeah, have a pleasant evening or day, wherever you are. Lots of love.